Whoa! Can you hear it? Saw this crawling on my leg. That's what I could hear before. Jesus. Good morning. I am on my own today. Christina is working and I've decided that I'm going to explore Estonia on my own. I'm in a place called I think it's the Alam-Pedja Reservaat, which is basically, I think, the largest reserve in Estonia, like nature reserve. I'm currently next to the Pedja River. I'm going to try and walk the whole trail, which is the study trail, they call it, the nature study trail. It might be a bit muddy. It might be too wet. The worst case scenario is that I encounter a bear with their babies. In that case, I'm dead. But this is gorgeous. This reminds me a little bit. I've been to, it's actually probably quite famous actually now because of the Salisbury poisonings, but this reminds me of Salisbury. In Salisbury you have similar sort of water meadows that are constantly being worked on. So water meadows are basically half and half, bit man-made, bit due to Mother Nature. And when you have them going for long enough, they end up sort of harbouring certain species and you get like a certain type of wildlife coming in, and you don't want to miss out on that, you know, and let it rewild completely. So they're kind of in that fine balance where they're just trying to keep the water meadows, you know, going. But I'm going to have to follow this path, otherwise I'm going to get lost. And the ground is quite muddy still, but luckily it has dried out. I've given it enough time. Look how flooded it is here. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but that's completely submerged in water still, big puddles. And beautiful yellow flowers. Another great thing about the mud is that every now and then you can see footsteps. So you can get a kind of idea of what kind of wildlife is here. That's what's great about the snow when it snows. Obviously a lot of animals end up hibernating, like your raccoon dogs and your bears, but some animals don't. So then you can just get a nice idea of what kind of wildlife you have in your area. Whoa! What's that? Hello? Did you hear that then? I thought it was a bear cub, but it sounds like it's a bird. That made me jump, that did. This probably belongs to a deer, though you can tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm not really a nature nerd, so to speak. Now, I haven't seen any signs of any bears yet, any bear droppings or anything like that. Another good telltale sign is if you look at trees, you can sometimes see like bark scratched out or that kind of thing. This sign has been broken. I wonder if a beaver's done that. Right, there are beavers here. Something's had a good go, is it? Another interesting thing is that you've got to be careful of insects. The specific one I'm talking about is more of, I think it's an arachnid, it's an 8-legged tick, and it's a parasite. And you've got to be careful of those because they feed on humans and they can carry Lyme disease, especially the deer tick. And then there's this other disease called tick-borne encephalitis, which can cause all nasty kind of symptoms to do with the nervous system. So you don't really want to get that either. So there's an injection you can get. It consists of 3 doses. You need 3 doses. I had to pay for it. It's 45 euros. I'm hoping it's 45 euros for the course, but I bet it's 45 euros per dose. And look, this opens out now into this beautiful meadow. And you've got these cows here. Now, hopefully I don't have to... I'm actually... I think cows are a bigger problem sometimes. Like living in Wales, I've actually had a couple of close encounters with cows. They're normally very good. And cows are just curious. What they normally do is they follow you everywhere, and if you run, they run, and if you stop, they stop. But there are situations where, like during calving, etc., where cows can be a bit problematic. But it looks like I'm not going to cross with their path. I think that sound that I heard earlier was just a tree. There's woodpeckers here. Yeah, that was just a tree squeaking, but I thought it was a bear. I just flew off. So it sounds like the wind is blowing through the structure and it sings. I'm also just trying to film some birds from up here. It's quite difficult actually, and I'm going to try and film the swallow's nest and see if I can stay really still and let either, you know, mummy and daddy come and feed them. But I'm going to have to be super quiet and patient. Just behind me there's just tons and tons of dandelions, and the number of bees, like bumblebees, it's just incredible. This tree in front of me has fallen across the path, but you can see that it's been rinsed of its bark. Look, I'm saying look as if you're obviously looking, you're watching the video. Yeah, look, you can see all these tooth marks. Like shh, I'm making sound effects. So there's beavers been here. Take advantage of this tree that's fallen down. And I think the reason why I'm quite excited about seeing some beaver, or evidence of beavers, is because in Wales we don't have any beavers in the wild. I think I tell a lie, maybe they've just recently been reintroduced into certain specific nature reserves in Wales, but they were basically made extinct for their hunting, the fur, etc. And the same with the bear and the wolf all used to roam the United Kingdom. So I guess, like, for me it feels a bit like I'm turning back the clock and I'm visiting the UK. Obviously this is Estonia, but I'm visiting the United Kingdom in a time before humans ruined everything from a wildlife perspective. That is heaven. All I can hear is nature, the birds, the breeze. And so far I've been completely present, which is really good for mental health, isn't it? It looks like a pike anyway, I'm almost certain it's a pike. It's waiting for a frog or something. I just snuck round in a vague attempt to film this pike without disturbing it. I don't think it really cares about me. But you tell me, is that dead? Its eyes are perfectly still. Looks like it's got a bit of damage. I think it's got a bit of damage on there, look. I've decided it's dead. I threw a twig next to it and it didn't move. So there we are, a dead pike. Still lucky to see one, dead or alive. I believe this is the bridge that was built in 1975. It can only hold 120 kilograms. It looks a touch wobbly. And, but yeah, that basically is two people, isn't it? Because I'm, what, 72, 73 kilograms. Bit podgy. Oh, it's wobbly. Nice little bridge. Elochtlik. I wonder what that means. Geistelido laxetiru ohula lastime ayal ohulas vibine. I won't go that way. Defensively may have training close to there, therefore please stay on the Girna hiking trail. Ah, that must be what the sign's about. And there's Operation Hedgehog going on today. So, or at the minute. So let's hope that I don't become a target as I walk through these forests. I just heard a really deep boom boom, like rumble. Like, oh, another one as well. Bloody, another one. What's that sound? Can you hear it? And another one. You know, it's really weird walking on this ground. I can't explain it, but it's so spongy. It feels like I'm walking on a mattress that's slightly swaying as I step on it. It gives you that impression. And because you're feeling that underneath your feet, so you think that you're experiencing some sort of, like you're walking on the sea. I can't really explain it. I'm walking and I'm like, ooh, I feel like I've had a few beers. But I've not had a few beers. There's that bang again. It's a deep. And again. Can you hear it? Oh, deer. Oh, there's a deer that just went that way. Let me see if I can catch on camera. Wow. I looked to my left and heard a noise and there was a deer. I'm going to try and catch it on camera. It might cross past it. I'm going back the way I came. I now need to be quiet. It says one, there's usually two. There it is. Oh. Did you see it? There it is. Oh. Did you see it? I can currently hear some sort of aircraft in the sky. That's quite rare nowadays. Because of the airspace ban on Russian planes, for obvious reasons. And when we do hear planes and jets and helicopters now, it just makes you think for a second, oh, I wonder what it's doing up there. Like before you wouldn't bat an eyelid. But nowadays, when there's something in the sky, it gives you a pause to think, like, what could it be? Because there isn't much flying over Estonia right now. In fact, look, I'll film it now. It looks to me like a military plane. See, there it is. You can identify that plane for me in the chat, that'd be brilliant. Well, that is flying north-ish, because south is roughly to my right. That does look like it's going north, so it could just be a plane going to Finland. I don't have a flight tracking app on my phone, so I don't know. But the point is that when a plane does fly over now, it piques more interest than it normally would. Just reading this quickly, this says if there's a red flag showing, then that means it's life-threatening to be here. I can't quite understand the Estonian. I'll find out towards the end. If you can hear that behind me now, there's some military, God knows what going on over there. I had no idea. There's no red flag though, but they're firing away there now. That's what I could hear before. Jesus, you can hear it, deep sound. It sounds like gunfire. I made a few comments. I said I wouldn't film any military activity or anything that would, like, you know, compromise any of Estonia's sort of defensive capabilities. But there we are, there's something going on behind me. But there's no flag saying I shouldn't have been there. And I think there should have been, because they're bloody firing rounds over there somewhere. Jesus Christ. I don't think I'll be going that way. I'm going to have to check myself now completely. Saw this crawling on my leg. They'll find it very difficult to get to me because of, there's a tick by the way. Because of, my clothing's all tucked in, but still. So yeah, they make my skin crawl, they really do. That I've killed this one, but I'm going to wash my hands because before I do anything else. There's plenty of Estonia left to discover, so please subscribe for more content.